So we are going to spend some time this week talking about fractions. I know you love fractions. Fractions is like your favorite topic. You know, back in high school when the teacher said fractions, a lot of people cringed. But they're not that bad. And we are going to look at fractions. This slide here is about fractions as a ratio of comparing two things. Okay, so we have, looks like squares, pentagons, and circles, right? So we can compare them using a ratio or as a fraction. So if we do it as a ratio, so the first one is squares to circles. It looks like I have 4 squares and 3 circles. Squares to circles. As a ratio, it would be 4 squares to 3 circles. Okay? And ratios are a nice setup. Okay, they look nice, but they're not very useful when you're doing the math part of things. So what we do is we, instead of use a ratio, use it as a fraction and do squares to circles, as a fraction, and it would be 4 squares over 3 circles. And that's something a lot more useful that we can do with math. Okay? Looking at the other ones, circles to the total number of shapes. Well, we have 3 circles and it looks like we have 9 shapes. So the second one, number 2, 3 circles to 9 shapes. Now that can be reduced, right? Because 3 goes into 3 and 3 goes into 9. It can be reduced to 1/3. Okay? For the third one is saying pentagons to squares. There's 2 pentagons, 4 squares. So pentagons, we'll get rid of this. 2 pentagons to 4 squares. Okay, again, that could be reduced because 2 goes into both. 1/2. And I'm out of space here, so let's do the other one up here. Number 4 up there. Total number of shapes to pentagons. Now there is 9 shapes in total and 2 pentagons. So the total number of shapes would be 9. To the number of pentagons would be 2. And that's how you write your ratios as a fraction. Okay? One last thing, you can still write it as a ratio, they're just not as useful. I'll give you an example here. We could do total number of shapes to pentagons. We could write it as 9/2. So you can write it both ways. It's just far more useful if you write it as a fraction.